I want to talk about things that women need to consider before getting married and the truth that they need to understand before getting married. The first thing they need to understand is the marriage or life for women, how God created them, is based on covering. Is based on covering. Those who are Christian understand the Bible. I'm talking about the spiritual covering. God designed a woman to have two covering in their lives. The first one, they don't choose who covers them. The second one, you have to choose who covers you. And it's going to impact how you fulfill your destiny. It's going to impact how you achieve all that God created you for. We have a lot of failed marriage today because women, uh, chose the wrong covering upon their lives. Today, I'm talking about marriage. By the way, I'm gonna focus on women today, and next time I'm gonna focus on men. So now, this is how the Lord made me understand. Um, a woman has a chance to have two chances to have two covering in their lives. The first covering they don't choose. You know, it's like you and me. We don't choose who becomes our father. That choice, it probably comes from God. God chooses who becomes our father. But the enemy has fought the foundation of the families. We have a lot of women out there did not grow up with their fathers, so they don't understand or they don't relate to the fatherly love and things like that, or fatherly covering. Do you understand? As a result, and most of women or some women, because of that, they turn to wrong people, to wrong men, and those wrong men tends to damage them emotionally, damage them somehow, because all they were seeking is that validation that they couldn't get from their dad. Because the way God created a woman, she's an emotional being. She seeks a validation of her after, validation after her own dad. The dad strengthens the woman, and reason why you see in a family, girls tend to love their dad more than boys, and boys tend to love their mother, because after that, most of women tend to seek men who are like their fathers, because they can relate to their father. They can seek and see their father as an example of a good man or not. If it was not a good man, and things like that. But the enemy have attacked families. Family has been attacked to the core. Family has been attacked, and we see a lot of women who did not grow up with their fathers. They don't know. Some don't know their fathers. Some their fathers were abusive. Some their fathers, they don't have a relationship with their fathers. That's how the enemy has actually attacked that important aspect of a woman's life. As a result, the woman now cannot, now most of those women, you see a young lady, she did not grow up with her father. Now she's going out tends to seek validation in other men out there. As a result, they fall mostly on the wrong men. Those wrong men tend to hurt them, abuse them, and create wounds and things in their heart, emotional things that they need to heal as they're going along. And it's happened that some don't even heal, and they end up also settling with the wrong men based on the first covering, which was not right. So these are the things. Women out there, the first covering, which is your father, you do not choose your father. You do not choose who your father is. You do not choose in which family you were born. But the second covering, you have to make the choice. You have to make the choice. Why am I talking in terms of covering today? Why am I sharing in terms of covering? Because if you go into the book of Ephesians 5, verse 25, it says, husband loves your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. However, if you go to Ephesians 5:33, the Bible says, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself. This is the thing that the Bible recommends to a man. The man has to be able to love their wives. But we have a lot of men who are not wife loving. They don't love their wife. Why? Somehow the choice, the woman that accepted, the man that accepted, is not capable of loving them. Somehow the choice they made was not a very good choice. So they fall on men who are not able to love them as Christ loved the church. So now let's go to the covering now. So the second covering is your husband. The Bible says, wives, submit to your husband. Guys, submitting is the most important things in life. Submitting means you surrendering to them. You surrendering, you trust their visions. You trust the way they're going to lead you. You trust the way they're ruling the family. As in the Garden of Eden, God created Adam and he gave Adam the mission. He gave Adam everything, the mission, the revelation, everything. And then he created a woman to be the helper. Now Adam became the covering of Eve. Now Adam had a responsibility to teach Eve the instruction that he received from the Lord. So now, can you imagine if you get yourself with a wrong husband, a wrong man, a wrong covering, they're going to cover you wrongly. And that's how we end up having toxic relationships, toxic marriages, because the covering is not right. So the second choice woman, you got to choose who to cover you. Don't choose an husband based on the look, based on his job, based on his money, but choose a man based on how able is he to cover you spiritually, how able is he to cover you in life, how able you can respect him, how able you can follow and his leadership. Hallelujah. Because we have a lot of men, a lot of women, I mean, they are with men they can't even honor. They can't even follow their leadership. They can't even trust their leadership. So as some part is, I'm not going to blame you who your father was, but I can blame you who your husband is, who your husband was. Because that it takes what? It takes discernment now in maturity. Now I want us to move to the second part. We see in Ephesians 5 verse 25. Now the Bible personifies the husband and the wife as Christ and the church. Now before a woman now become married to the husband, you gotta be also without blemish. You gotta heal first. As the Bible says, Christ is expecting a church without blemish, ready for the wedding. So the same way for that union, that marriage to work as well, for that covering to be able to cover you successfully, you gotta be without the blemish. Maybe you've been to heartbreaks, heartburns, all kind of things in the past. But before you consider yourself, before you realize, before you decide to go into marriage, you gotta be able to heal physically, spiritually, to be able to heal, for the man to be able to cover you fully. Because even a good covering man you receive, if you're not fully healed, the man will not be able to cover you. Because a damaged human being cannot be covered properly. So may God bless you. This is the first series on marriage. God bless you.